Aashika.
Hi, Harshit.
Yeah. So the first question to you is, how does a product manager role varies across teams and companies?
Okay, so essentially the role of product manager is the same. There's shipping the product end to end, but it depends a lot on various factors. For instance, the product you're working upon, like the work of insurance would be different from the work of the lending. The second factor that contributes is the stage at which you have joined the company. When I talk about stage, it means the stage of the product. And the third is the structure of the company. I give you the example. So I have worked with two companies, Wisdom and Freecharge. So when I joined Wisdom, the product was at a very new stage. It was at the very starting when I joined the team. So I was largely involved in strategizing and planning and laying out the feature. But when I joined Freecharge, so the product was almost live. So I was involved in post implementation part. I had to coordinate a lot with the tech team in order to sort out the issues which customers were facing after release. I had to track success metrics after the release of the feature. So obviously these two are the part of the product, but obviously the work I was doing differs. The second is the structure of the company. So Freecharge is relatively a more stable organization as compared to Wisdom. So here we have a segregated division between the product and the program, but that was missing from Wisdom. So there we had to do both the roles of product as well as the program. But here we just have to simply raise out the issues. We do not get involved in the issue management. We just raise the flag to the program team and they get it done for us. Also, in Freecharge, the product is responsible for growth as well. So here the role of product management is also largely revolves around the business. So which was not present at the Wisdom. There, the product was specifically involved in just the product part and not the growth. So we have a lot of meeting with the business team members, like the merchant side members, deal side, calling team, which was missing from the Wisdom part. So these are some of the factors that define your role. I hope that answers your questions, Harshit.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Aashika. So my second question to you is, how does your day at Freecharge look like?
So the day is very hectic. Like there is no day where you have the free slots, but at the same time, it's very challenging, full of learning and fun. So essentially, Monday to Friday starts and ends with a conversation with the CEO, that is Siddharth Mehta. So in the morning, the day starts around 10ish. We have our daily business updates, like how our numbers for the feature is performing, where are we lacking, what are the blockers, what should we do to improve. And on the same note, like the ends on the tech updates, like where have we progressed on the tech front, what are the blockers, is there anything that is required from the different teams. So this is the start and the end of the day. In middle, we have the different meetings with the different stakeholders. So usually the meetings are aligned with the marketing team, operation teams, data team, tech team, in order to ensure that we all are at the same page. They ask their queries, we close the open points, or if the user story has to be discussed. Sometimes it's with the data team, so we discuss what data is requirement. We ensure that whatever is a requirement is very clear to them. So sometimes it's with the design team, so we have to make them understand how we want the feature to be look like. So these are a few of the things that we do throughout the day. The next thing the day we do is book our own slots, because we have to ensure that the work which is pending from our end also gets completed, which includes that framing the user stories, defining the JIRAs, creating the user flows, writing the PRD. So we book the slots in our day so that no other team or no other meeting is scheduled in that particular hour. Then there are always the ad hoc tasks coming. So like almost every day there is some issue either at the marketing end or at the tech end. Sometimes there is a discrepancy in the data. So throughout the day, we handle it on the ad hoc basis. Then on a daily basis, we have a team meeting. So the product I am working on has a lot of things to do. So obviously it's not possible to complete the entire thing in one single day. So we meet, all of our team members meet every day and we prioritize the things like what needs to be completed in that particular day. And then the work is divided between all of the team members. So there are 14 members in my team. So we split the work among ourselves. And that's how we plan the day. Like each person is given the ownership of what needs to be done from his end. So this is how the day typically looks like.
Thank you. My next question to you is, what do you think is the most important skill that a product manager should have?
Thank you, Harshit, for the question. So I feel there is not one, but the two skills that are very important for a product manager to be successful in our career. So the first skill that I'll talk about is to identify the pain points of the customer correctly. And the second skill that a product manager should have is to identify the success metrics correctly. So I'll start with the description of the first skill that I'm talking about. So whenever a product manager is building a feature or a product, it is to solve a particular issue or the problem a customer is facing. So it's a problem to the solution equation. So if there is a wrong identification of the problem, then the solution is going to be the wrong. I like to give an analogy for the same. So if the foundation of the building is not correct, then the building you build on it is not going to be correct. So correct identification of the problem is the same as building the correct foundation of the building. So the second skill that a product manager should have is to identify the correct success metrics. So ultimately, aim of every organization and its team, all of its team, is to increase the business of the organization. So whatever the product team is doing has to be in alignment with the business team or whatever the business team is looking for. So in order to solve that, there has to be alignment between the metrics as well. So a product team has to ensure that whatever metrics they are defining in order to call their product successful has to be in the same path or in the same line what the business team is looking in order to call that particular product or to fall the revenues in place for that particular feature. So that's what I think. That's what my opinion is about the skills.
So the next question to you, Aashika, is, how did you enter into a product role? Can you take us through your journey?
Yeah. Thank you, Harshit, for the question. So firstly, I would like to call myself lucky that I got a opportunity to work in a fintech space and get into the product domain at the very start of my career. So like every other B school graduate, I took the job that I was offered in the placement season, but that was a typical IT sales job. So after doing 2-3 months over there, I realized that that is not something I want to do, neither something which I can do. So it was both the ways. Then I started hunting for the jobs. Then I got a call from Wisdom for the product role. So the first thing that I would like to highlight is for any person who wants to enter the product role, you need not acquire the product knowledge, because while the person was interviewing me, his name was Amit. He did not ask me a single a single product question. So my interview was mostly around judging me on the basis of my analytical and the logical skills, which I feel is very important for any product guy. I was judged on my problem solving approach. I was given a case study which was not at all related to product. It was he wanted to test me whether I'm able to find out a solution to that, whether my approach is correct, what is the way in which I think. and there were some guesstimate questions. So, but none of them was the technical product question. So after FISDom, I interviewed at Features. I have also interviewed at few other companies, which I would not like to take the name of. But more or less the process was same. In the second round, since I already had a 2 years of experience in the product, I was expected that I knew the product nitty-gritties. But apart from that, I was strongly judged on my analytical and the logical skills, my problem solving skills. That was the basis on which I feel that I have been offered a position rather than the product skills I have. So I was given here also there was a case study round. I was asked to find a solution for a problem statement. I had to make the user stories, user journeys, design. I had to do the data crunching. But when there was a case study discussion, the focus one on how I arrived at the solution rather than the solution itself. My approach was being tested, my thought process was being tested, and so yeah. So that is my journey. That is a short description about my journey. So yeah. So summarizing it, problem solving attitude, a strong affection for numbers, very strong, having a very strong inclination toward analytics and logic are some of the key things that you should have if you want to enter into the product. That's all from my side.